Hi,
Hello.
welcome. It's been a long time. Welcome to Table Talk Live. This is the first time we are doing live on our Table Talk. You're used to seeing our recordings, answering one question after another. But because we've been out of the scene for some time, so we want to come on live and answer it unaddicted. This is our answer here. With no edit, with no arrangement. So this is us live. And if you have any question, please drop it in the comment section. I have my phone here, so I will be seeing them and I will be responding. But in the meantime, we have a number of questions that we are yet to answer. So let's get into it.
Yes, once again, you are welcome. We've missed you. Happy you are live with us. So, listen and be blessed.
Yeah. All right. So question number one. My boyfriend says derogatory things to me when he's upset and it affects my self esteem. How do I correct this?
Wow, your boyfriend. Well, friendship is not by force, it's by choice. Choose your friends, and one of the qualities of choosing your friends are those that lift you up and not people that talk you down. If I were you, I will terminate the friendship. There's a difference between giving an advice and talking somebody down constantly. So it means that you guys cannot really, you're not compatible. You can't work together. Two cannot work together except they
I
agree.
agree.
So friendship is not by intimidation. Remember, you say your boyfriend, so it's just your friend. So if you're not comfortable with it, then you can disengage, the friendship. That is my take on that. Do you have anything to add?
You don't have to be comfortable. You just disengage because
Mm.
he's already showing you who he is, and that is not who you want to be. We all need positive vibes to keep us, psychologically and mentally okay,
Mm.
seeing what is happening around us in the world. But so for one person to be talking you down constantly, I don't think you deserve to be in that relationship. So call it a quit for your sanity's sake.
Mm.
That's my take on that. I believe we answered you. So question number two. Sir, I guess this is directly to you.
Mm.
Why do Christians divorce?
Well, Christians are human beings, and being a Christian doesn't mean that you're not a human being. And looking at the scriptures, Jesus said, "Men," because I think a question like that came to Christ in Matthew, I think, chapter 19, where they were asking him, the law said we should divorce and this and that. Moses gave us a law like this to divorce. Jesus said that Moses gave them that such law because of the hardness of their heart. So people divorce because they have become hardened. They have refused to agree with one another. They become unagreeable. So it's not just because you're a Christian or not. There are those that are not Christian. They have perfect homes, and I believe that Christians should be examples to such people. But where people have refused the word of God to have impact in their life, so you begin to see some of those things. So it's not a question of being a Christian or not. It is the state of the mind, the state of the heart, such individual. So that's my take on that. Yes, I know that to whom much is given, much is expected. They don't just say, well, because he's a Christian. And of course, you know that today people just see you call people Christians because they go to church. But we also discover that being a church goer does not really make you a Christian. But even if you are a believer, you have given your life to Christ, you speak in tongues, notwithstanding, it is still possible to find yourself in such situation where you are divorced, unless you have allowed the word of God to saturate you to saturate your mind, to always put God first in your life. And that is the situation where you can be able to bear things, to overlook things. Now, I'm not condemning people who decide to divorce, but I believe that marriage can be worked out, notwithstanding the differences. Thank you.
All right. I guess I have nothing to say because it was your question. All right. Question number 3. How can one deal with a husband that talks her down and blames her for his actions like cheating?
Hmm, that's a serious one. So I wonder the type of blame he's bringing. And of course, when somebody starts apportioning blame instead of owning and taking responsibility for their mistake, that's a sign of a serious problem. So, however, you are married, I believe that those actions he's blaming you about, are they really true? Ask yourself, are they true? Are they true? If you
Like
are,
cheating, how is it her fault?
he said he blames him, he blames her.
Example.
Example, if you are the type that your husband needs you, you always give excuse.
Yeah.
You always say, I'm not ready, I feel headache, this and that, and he may blame you for that. So look at his complaint. In as much as we are not saying that he has the right to misbehave. No, but since he's trying to push the blame to you, ask yourself if it's really true and iron it out. Iron it out with him, and prayerfully, we believe that things will turn out for good. I think that's my take on that. We believe that things will turn out to good. Since he says it's your fault, make sure you correct that impression, those things he's pointing out.
Perhaps what if she had corrected it's actually not her fault, but the man just wants a reason to blame her? Because I don't see the reason why you should blame your wife for the reason you're cheating. Except if you're stabbing him sexually. But if you're not, then the man has a problem.
That is it. Even if you are studying him, there is a problem. But then you must come to the point where he will not point a finger at you and say you are the reason for what he is doing. You understand? So make sure you eliminate everything that will bring about such accusation. And cheating is not just an ordinary thing. I believe there are forces behind it. So work it out with him prayerfully. I believe that things will turn out for good, unless he's a person who has decided not to change. Then you begin to look at every other options around you.
Options like?
She's not asking about the options, so
Okay,
let's keep it there.
okay. You've had. So let me reserve my comments. All right. Question.
When you talk of options, there are counseling.
There are
There are
there's
there are
counseling.
and you can go for therapy. What do you call it?
Who is to go for this one? I or
The
him?
man,
She or the man?
the cheater.
Correct.
And there are some sessions both of you can also go.
Okay.
Where you begin to understand where the problem is. We don't really believe that the first response to everything is divorce. No, marriage is like owning a car. It's like owning anything. For instance, you own a car, the thing breaks down. The first thing is not to discard it. You begin to look for somebody that can address this situation. We believe that every problem has a solution.
Oh, yes.
But are you ready to actually look for that situation? Because it has to do with your ego, it has to do with your pride, it has to do with you owning up and really coming down, for such solutions to be administered to you. Thank you.
All right. Question number 4. Why does marriage get boring with time? I like this one. Hmm. It does get boring with time, but that is why, hence, the two of you must get to know how to spice up your relationship. There are things like family vacation. There are things like me time, there is a lot of things but your marriage is different from my marriage. I know what to do in my marriage to spice up my marriage, so you need to find out what is it you can do to spice up your marriage. It is not easy sleeping and waking up with the same man year after year.
And also with the same woman as well.
Certainly true.
Things can get boring when people no longer take care of little things. You decide to present yourself anyhow. As a man or as a woman, you don't really look into spicing up the relationship. Sometimes I've had men in cases like this complain that their wives no longer look attractive. She dresses anyhow. She doesn't make her hair, and a lot of complaints like this. So these are little things you can make sure you don't give up on those things. Those things that work, keep working on them. Anything that is good, keep working on them. Take your wife out, not just family vacation. Sometimes you leave the children, leave them aside. At least once in a month, you
So
should be
us
able.
time.
Once in a month, you should be able to take your wife
I
out.
also like the
You
me
may
time.
you may not really go to an expensive place. You can just go to a garden, relax, and talk it over. Talk it over with one another. Do little things. Buy her gifts. Buy her flowers.
Waiting. I
Do
like
those
this
little
part.
and spice it up your relationship. You see things work out.
Okay.
Don't just say, well, you leave things like that. No, no, no. It is hard work. As a lady, also, watch your weight. Some men complain, my wife is now overweight. It is not an excuse. But what we are trying to say is that anything you don't like, maybe you see your wife, she's getting bigger, you don't start talking her down. Okay? Don't talk her down. Anybody that eats should grow big. Rather, you should suggest let's involve in gym. Let's involve in some of this exercise and get involved as well. Before you know it, things will be working out, better than it used to be. In the real sense, marriage will actually grow better,
Oh yes.
not worse. Okay, that is our take on that.
Okay, as an image consultant, I will advise sometimes you women tend to neglect themselves, and once you neglect yourself, you stop receiving those compliments that you are used to receiving in those days of courtship and everything. When you're going out, you're supposed to dress, you want to wear the best, you want to look the best. Eventually, after the marriage, you stop because you're like,
Who am I dressing
we
for?
know ourselves. So I always encourage women to, in marriage, that is when you still have to be chaste. You still want to see yourself as somebody that I like. My husband gives me compliment on daily basis, and if it doesn't come from him, I get it outside because men, I am on my A game of looking my best.
Yes.
So you always have to.
If you
You
want to
always-
be chased, don't stop running.
Oh yes.
Okay? By that we mean, like she said, keep spicing up the things.
Yes.
Once there are new things, your husband could identify new things around you, you should be able to compliment. Yes.
All right. So, question number 5. My husband still communicates with his married ex-girlfriend more often than it is worrisome. Help.
It depends on whom the person is to her.
Communicates to his married ex-girlfriend
Girlfriend. Are they in enmity?
so often that it is worrisome. It depends on the context. What is the communication all about? Is it a business communication? Is it a normal friendly chat? So you are not actually very detailed as to why it is worrisome to you, because um, communication is communication. I don't think, in as much as I'm not a fan of communicating with your ex, I believe that I don't read book backwards, so I read forward. So I'm not a fan of communication with X, but it depends on what the communication is all about. So I'm not going to judge him because you're not detailed about why the communication is worrisome. So
And also whom the person is. If a business partner, maybe they work in the same office. There are situations where there must be need to communicate. But like she said, it depends also on the context of the communication. You don't just expect somebody to become enemies just because the person they were S. Okay,
yeah.
so let the discussion, let the discussion always be centered on a neutral thing. And if the man thinks that is getting so suspicious, you can get your wife involved as well.
I guess so. I
Yes.
can't judge him now because
Mm.
we are not. The question is not well detailed well narrowed to as to why
The
the
contest.
contest why the communication is worrisome. Please feel free to drop your comments and your contribution in the comment section, and I will be reading it out. Please feel free. And we are the members of RCCG Dominion Center.
Yes.
We are located at
Lantana Road.
Hotel Riverview,
Lantana,
Lantana Road,
Westlands.
Westlands.
Yeah.
And we have services every Sunday by 9:30 a.m. So see you on Sunday and drop your questions. All right, we move to the next question. Question number 6. How do I handle a husband who masturbates?
That's a serious issue. One of the ways to handle him is to make sure he's very much satisfied. If you are satisfied as a man, I wonder
That is if it is not an addiction now.
if it is not an addiction.
Yes.
Then if it is an addiction, then you look around. Look around those pictorial images that always inform his actions. You don't just masturbate, in isolation. Maybe there are movies he watched, there are pictures around him. He must start by, discarding those. Of course, you cannot handle him unless he believes that he has a problem. The person in question must believe that he has a problem. Then from there you begin to work on him. So if he doesn't believe that he has a problem, he may just be pretending that the problem is solved. But in a situation where he also wants to come out from there, then he must first of all delete uh, all those negative things that he always focus on when he does such things. That is number one. And the second thing is that it's a spiritual thing. The Bible tells us in Romans chapter 12, verse 1. The Bible says we should renew our mind. It says, I beseech you, therefore, brethren, that you present your bodies as a living sacrifice unto God. And how do you do that? You do that by the renewal of your mind. So that's why I'm emphasizing on the things you watch, because those are the things that occupy your mind. So start from the things you watch. Change the type of things you watch. Okay? When you change those things, then prayerfully as also, you see things change for good. It is not something that will just happen automatic. But if you're able to do what we're saying by changing your environment, changing the type of things you watch, the type of things you're addicted to, stopping those things, then but before you know it, you see yourself getting out from that. And remember, initially I said you should also satisfy him. Once a person is satisfied, once a man is satisfied, I don't think he will be going about looking for where to get little things from under the pot.
Okay. That is his take and my take on that. So question number 7. I built a house while I was single, but I changed the name on the paperwork to my brother's name. My husband found out recently and has refused to come home. This property was my very first major achievement, and I wanted my family to have it. What should I do? Let him stay outside. It doesn't make sense. Let him stay outside.
That shouldn't be a big
It's
issue.
not his property, so I don't see why he should want to claim. So was the marriage all focused on the fact that you have a property? Is it a transactional marriage? If he's not coming home, he can as well stay outside. That's my take on that.
Well, that is true, but it is also good to carry your husband along in everything you do. And the property being in your name, unless maybe he has an agenda. He has an agenda that he refused to disclose to you. Otherwise, I don't think that should be an issue. Where we should have blamed you is if you had acquire that property while
you are married.
You are married. It means that you are living in secrets, and that will not be.
This was when she was still single. Yeah.
So, we will not encourage such things.
So bye. All right. So we move. Question number 8. I got infected with health by my husband, and he said it's not a big deal. Can I walk out of the marriage? No.
How can you walk out of a marriage
when
something is not a big deal? You should look for a solution.
It's not a big deal. You look for a solution.
Even if you walk out of the marriage, will you just allow yourself that way? Won't you look for a solution? That is the point.
But it also depends on what you mean by it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. Let's look for a solution, or it's not a big deal. Keep enduring it while I keep infecting you. I don't understand.
But look at the question.
Should I walk out of the marriage? No. We have already said no, don't walk out.
Don't walk out of it. So both of you should go and treat yourselves. Go and treat yourselves, and you can now start having mutual relationship.
Conversation over that line, along that line, to know exactly how the infection came about in the first place.
So working out has not solved any problem.
Exactly.
It just complicated the whole thing. Because even if you decide to walk out, somebody comes to marry, will you marry in that state? No. So both of you should relax and handle your challenges.
Okay. We dated for a year and he ghosted me. I decided to move on, and now he's back. What do I do? Like I said, I read my book forward. I don't read my book backwards. So that is me, ideally. So why did he ghost? How he ghosted you? Now he's back.
He ghosted you. That is to say, he disappeared.
He disappeared on you for no reason. That is, he ghosted.
And now he has appeared. And the question is,
you have moved on.
Huh?
What do I do? You have moved on, so I don't think there is an answer better than you continue moving.
When he ghosted you, were you praying for his return?
No.
If you were praying for his return, now
she will not move on. No. If she was praying, she wouldn't have moved on. She would have been stuck one place praying. She said she has moved on. Now he's back. So sis, continue moving.
No. Returning could be an answered prayer. So
that is if she's praying now.
My take is relax and know why he returned.
Why did he even ghosted in the first place?
Those are the things you should find out from him. Why did you run away? Now that you're back, why are you back?
Exactly.
So understand the reason. Don't just jump into it and say, let's continue. No. Understand the reason. Know why he went in the first place and why he's back again. Then you weigh your options. Because it could be an answered prayer, he coming back.
That is if you are praying for that.
If you are praying for that, if you are trusting God, telling God, why did this happen? Why this? Yes, it could be an answered prayer.
But since she said she has moved on, when a woman says, I have moved on, it means you have moved on and eventually you have another relationship. So I will not say dump your current relationship for a man that has ghosted you and they return back. So I will tell you to move on. Except if you are not in any relationship, then perhaps you want to know the reason why he ghosted you. But for me, I don't think it's necessary. Just move on.
If you're in a relationship and he returned, then you shouldn't be asking what do I do? Because you're already doing something. So
yeah. So
and where you are is comfortable.
Exactly.
So you should go on.
Because there's no reason. There's no guarantee that you will not be ghosted again.
Yes. That is it. That's why you should ask the right questions and
All right.
take the right actions.
Question number 10. I guess we are going to be rounding up in the next. Okay, we'll be rounding up in 30 minutes time so that the video will not be long, and we'll be dropping you one answer after
You mean
another
in the next 30 minutes?
in the next 10 minutes, 9 minutes.
Okay.
So, what's your take on a long distance marriage? I don't believe in that. I don't agree to that. I don't subscribe to that. I don't encourage that. That's just me.
It is not advisable.
Doesn't work.
If the distance relationship, maybe you travel to get something done and come back, fine. But if it's a situation where somebody has based elsewhere and the other partner is basing elsewhere, it is not encouraging.
Yeah.
So it's not encouraging. What we advise is both of you should walk, look at the two places where you are, know the best for you, for both of you, and both of you should look for a particular location and settle.
Yeah, because it's draining emotionally. It's not healthy for the children. Financially, it is draining, and eventually the both of you will begin to fade away from each other. Both parties will begin to fade away from each other. So I believe that marriage is all about commitment and work. But this long distance thing,
if the distance is more than 3 months in a year, you don't come back, you have to look into it.
Yeah. So it's not. I don't subscribe for that. Sorry. Some people may have their reason to agree to that, but for me personally, I don't subscribe to that. Or for us personally, we don't agree and subscribe to that. All right, we move along. Next question: what's your advice to a woman who her husband hasn't slept with for 4 years plus? If he has not slept with you for 4 years plus, who is he sleeping with? What? My confusion is: does he still come back to the
Are
same
you in
house?
the same house?
That's another question.
So what is actually scaring him away from you?
Yeah, because 4 years plus, it's almost like if you're mourning, you've already finished mourning and move on.
That's a long time. So I think you should see a counselor. See a counselor. Don't just keep quiet. See a counselor for proper analysis.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right. So we move to the next question, and this is my husband chooses his family over me. When I act, he feels I hate his family. Hell.
Your husband's family is your family. After all, you are not bearing the name. So that family is your family. You have to adjust and be properly integrated in that family. Don't stay aloof and start thinking, why? No, get yourself integrated in that family because that family is your family. So that is what I have to say there. Unless if there are other issues unless if there are issues where he doesn't allow you to really know what is happening in that his so-called family, then there is a problem. But if he carries you along and you are willing to go together, I don't think there's an issue there. And there is no that issue of choosing his family over me will not be there. Unless if you may like to be more detailed.
Anyway, blood they say is thicker than water. Somehow, for a woman to feel this insecure, the man must have acted in a way that made her feel that I'm not part of this family. I'm a woman, I will speak for me. So in one way or the other, he must have made you feel that way. And for a man, he thinks, you just integrate yourself. He doesn't understand that it is a process. He doesn't understand that you also need to find your feet first. You understand? So he must have made you feel that way. I would say discuss it with him.
So how long does it take for a woman to find her feet in a family she is married into?
Naturally, if your family is here, naturally you find yourself talking, communicating, eating, cracking jokes. Maybe it's not her nature, but because blood is flowing, you guys flow naturally. So you need to also remember that somebody is by your side and integrate the person. And when you don't do it, the woman felt alone.
How do you do that? Let's.
That is you, the man, to remember that now I have a wife by my side. I need to also get involved, because she will not just jump into it when she doesn't even know how to. Like, example, your family is a clown, joke, comedians. I think that's the right word. And when you people are talking, people literally laugh. And eventually, thank God, me too, I was born in a comedy family. So I automatically flow. But if you don't know how to crack joke, you might say something and everybody's looking at you because it's no longer funny. So you will be forced not to even talk to avoid embarrassing yourself. So you have to also find the balance.
Yes, I think that is true. And lady, you have to ask your husband, how do I also get involved? Don't come to a point where you now say, I am a different person. Then maybe there is a family meeting. You also organize a different one. You want your husband to now make a choice. It doesn't happen that way.
No, don't put a man.
Definitely, he will go for his family.
Don't ever put a man in a position to choose between him and you and his family.
It doesn't work that way.
You will not like the
you are
outcome.
Separating yourself.
Yeah.
Get involved, and encourage him, because he is also supposed to get involved in your family. Because these two families, they have come together, so you should know how to integrate, especially the lady. You have left your family. You are now in his own family. You have to own it.
But let him carry you along. That's just it. So it calls for conversation.
Yeah.
He may have done it unknowingly or knowingly.
Or natural. There's a natural flow.
Yeah, natural flow, because they are siblings, they are families. So you just call him to attention.
That you want to also be
involved. Yes, then he will also put you, but don't put a man in a position to choose between you and his family. Obviously, he will go with his family. Sorry, my sister, but that is the reality. But you can raise a conversation where the two of you will not agree.
You want to be involved.
He will not know that, I'm crossing. Okay, let me carry you along. They always come back to their senses.
Yeah.
Sometimes they overstep without knowing, but eventually your job is to drag him back, because you are the woman who will lose out at last. So don't let yourself be lost. Let's try and flow with these our men. They are wonderful people. Yes. Please don't forget to share. Drop your comments in the comment section below, or your question or your contribution, whatever it is. Drop it down below. And like I said, we are the Redeemed Christian Church of God, RCCG Dominion Center. And you will find us at Hotel Riverview, Lantana Road, Westlands. Our service is every Sunday by 9:30 a.m. Hope to see you all there. All right, we'll move along to the next question. Thank you all for watching. I'm seeing you from my phone as I'm scrolling down. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you for watching, and God bless you from wherever you're watching us from. So hope to see you on Sunday. Thank you. Next question. Okay. Sorry, give me a moment. Sir, I guess this is for you. I need your advice concerning blood type, because I have been in a relationship for 2 years now, and I just find out that we are not genetically compatible. What is there? Since end the relationship. This is not a matter of spirituality. I don't think you have anything to say.
Yes, because the outcome
you will not like
of those type of things, you may not like it. I mean, in the area of children. You cannot afford to see your child SS, a sickle cell, going through the pain and everything. I think, unless if you so much believe that both of you work out things, God will change it. Let God change it before you go into the relationship. I believe that God can do anything, but let the miracle happen before you marry. Don't just say, well, somebody did it, you are going to do it. No. The Bible said that in the last day, knowledge shall increase. Thank God that the knowledge is here for people to actually know their genotype before going into marriage. Otherwise, you say it was as a result of ignorance. So please don't allow that emotion to make you to damn certain consequences.
It's very painful,
So
but that's the
if
best
I were
solution.
you, I will quit.
Just quit, end the relationship, just for the sake of the children. Yeah,
Hmm.
I'm sorry about that. Next question. I am 6 months in marriage. I found my wife still cheat with her exes, not even one exes. What should I do? 6 months in marriage.
Hmm.
Is this a hard one? 6 months in marriage.
Hmm. It's very tough. It's tough
I
indeed.
am so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, but
I'm so sorry.
there is nothing God cannot do. So if she really owns up that she does that and she's willing to change, then both of you should see a counselor and be put through, help her out of the predicament. Okay? And like we always emphasize, we are spiritual beings. Some of those things are spiritual. So don't downplay the place of deliverance. See your pastor, book for deliverance session, both mentally and spiritually. I believe that there will be a way out because we have seen things happen through prayers. Okay? So that is my suggestion. But if you think you cannot handle it and what, you must first of all sit down. Both of you should sit down with a counselor, sit down with your pastors and discuss things, iron things out. By the grace of God, we believe there will be a way forward.
I'm so
Yeah.
sorry. I believe that's just the only way out. Have a have a chat, get to know why. I don't believe any woman is forced into a marriage she doesn't want. So just get to know why.
And
I am so
I didn't
sorry.
know why you didn't notice some of these things during the
Courtship
courtship,
time.
during those.
Maybe he
If you did,
was
if you didn't notice, then it means that maybe these things are not ordinary. Maybe she's projected into doing that. Yeah.
honestly, I'm so sorry. I know how you're feeling, but I can't say I understand how you're feeling. But
But you know,
I know. Honestly, I'm so sorry. But like he said, seek advice and probably you'll find a way forward. All right, this is our last question for today. How do I handle a man who only treats me nice when I want out? We have dated for 5 years, married for 4 years now. He continually abuses me emotionally and mentally. But when I say I am done, he will start acting remorsefully. But after forgiving him and returning back to him, he goes back to his usual way. And he keeps saying, and I'm asking or saying, what should I do?
so they have dated for 5 years.
They dated for 5 years, married for 4 years.
Oh, they're already married.
Mhm.
Okay.
And each time she wants out,
Mm.
he acts remorsefully. And whenever she forgives him, he goes back to the usual way of abusing her emotionally and mentally. The first place, I'm sorry, it's not as if I'm blaming you, but you saw this while you were dating him. That is already a enough signal for you to run. It's enough signal for you to run because you said you dated for 5 years. So in these 5 years, you've already seen this is a routine, and you still went ahead to forgive and eventually marry him, and eventually the cycle continues. So do I not say you should continue during or what?
Yeah, because those signs were there. And you see, people don't really know the purpose for dating. Those are the times you ask tough questions, you evaluate, you look at people the way they behave. But now that you are in um, it means you overlooked it when,
When it matters.
yes. So, but that shouldn't be an excuse for it to continue. Um,
Because a man like this, I don't think you want to go for counseling. And already,
I,
men are the greatest psychologists. They are naturally born a psychologist. Is there anything like that? Men are naturally psychologists, you know. They don't need to go to school to read it. They know how to. That's why they say there are players. They know how to present themselves. They know how to twist words. They know how to turn your head, sweep you off your feet, and all that. They are naturally like that. And for you, my dear, you are too fragile to be in such a mess because the signals were there. And he already knows, what else? Let me tell her I'm sorry. Let me act remorsefully, buy flour, buy those things that he knows you love. And eventually you also succumb to that. And now it is serious because you can't live the rest of your life in this type
That's
of
right.
torture. It is gone too far.
That you too also look into yourself. Know why, what actually triggered those type of reactions. I don't believe that a man will just come and start. There must be things. There must be things. Though, let the change also start from you, from your own angle. You know, you may not be in control of how people will react, but you are all entitled and also in control of the way you react. So know how to a kind of rearrange his mindset by your actions. Okay, start doing the right thing and do things differently. That is what I mean. I'm not saying you are doing the wrong thing. Do things differently. If you are the type that always change words, please try to curtail it. If you are the type that neglects him, try to, go some extra miles and know what God can work out in your relationship. I believe, we always believe that things will work out, but people have to own up where they fell so that God can actually come in. All right.
Okay, so today, this is where we'll call it a day for today.
Yeah.
Thank you all for watching and for joining us live. And we'll come your way again next week, sometime next week. Don't forget to drop your comments. Don't forget to drop your contribution. And if you have any question, please send us your DMs. We're both on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. You'll find us RCCG Dominion Center, Nairobi, Kenya. And you'll find us at Hotel Riverview, Lantana Road, Westlands. Our services begins by 9:30 a.m. every Sunday morning. So hope to see you there, and thank you for sharing your time with us today.
God bless you.
Oh yes, amen.
See you on Sunday.
Have a nice day.
Yeah.
Bye.